Hi, I'm Chris, and I'm going to be your lecturer for the next 12 weeks. How exciting, hey? I'm looking forward to meeting everyone, and this is just to introduce my face, really, such as it is, and kind of just say, look, you're going to be seeing this mush for the next 12 weeks for 3 hours on a Wednesday night. I'm going to be talking about what my expectations of you are, and I'm sure you've got expectations of me, and we need to make those explicit so that we, kind of don't set each other for a failure. To begin with, I just want you to bring your authentic self to these. I want you, because it's a leadership subject, leadership is all about being authentic, being honest, being vulnerable, not trying to show the mask, which is really hard. For me, it's hard. For you, it's hard because we have our public face and we've got our, our regular home face and our friend face. But I want you to bring your honest, vulnerable, authentic face and thoughts, naturally, to these 3-hour sessions. So it's not to try and say, hey, I know everything or I know nothing. I just want you to say, hey, I might be struggling or I don't understand that, and not feel silly about it. One of the things, I was lucky enough to go to Harvard. Now it's a couple of years ago now. God, time flies, doesn't it? And the first thing, and it was a leadership program. And the first thing that the esteemed Professor Ron Heifetz said to me, or to the group, obviously, but spoke to me really particularly, was said, for any organisation, any leader, they need to create a safe space. That's the very first thing. And so we're going to do that. He calls it the holding environment. It means we hold each other in a safe space. And it's probably even a little bit more challenging in some ways on a Zoom transmission as opposed to face-to-face. But we're in that world now, aren't we? Well and truly. So I'm going to try and create that holding environment. And it needs us all to be honest and open and vulnerable and authentic for it to work. Because if we don't feel that from each other, then we're not going to open up because we won't feel safe to open up. And we don't get the real conversations, the real discussions around when we thought we did well or when we made an error. And if we don't understand something or if we're really challenged by something, that's where the real learning occurs, not from the, I've read the books and now I know, and I have no faults, or if I do have any, I'm not going to share them with you. So that's a really important part because leadership is about that, first and foremost. We don't have trust unless we're authentic, unless we're able to be vulnerable. Because I won't trust you and you won't trust me if we know that the only thing we're going to hear from each other is what we think the other wants to hear rather than what's really happening. So I'm going to start that off. And I'm going to tell you, or share with you, not tell you, that I was involved in a really serious accident last Tuesday. And I'm still struggling emotionally and everything else as a result of that. I was the one at fault. So it's not like I'm thinking, why me? I was distracted and ran into a stationary car that was turning right at 80 miles an hour, or 80 kilometres an hour. They're showing my age. And so it was a complete and utter, an amazing thing that I'm sitting here in front of you now with simply just some bad bruising and soft tissue injuries and a bit of emotional fragility at the moment because I had my two dearest friends that happened to be dogs in my car, and one I thought was killed outright, but it turns out she was just in a coma and has a major head injury. And I got her home last night because she's been intensively nursed or cared for by the vet. He took her home every night on the drip IV, and so I've now got her back. And little Finn, my other dog, was injured, but he's recovered very well. So I've got a very long road, maybe 6 months, to help my little dog with a brain injury, to come back to normal. And it's a pretty good prognosis. So anyway, I needed to tell you that because I'm still a bit emotional about what I did and what I've caused from that. I wasn't drinking or anything, but anyway, I have no memory of what happened, but that's what occurred. So it's been a bit tough. But I'm really looking forward to the distraction of getting back into my lecturing and to be involved in the class again. I'm really looking forward to it. It's my favourite subject of all time, leadership, and I've done quite a bit of it over the years in terms of teaching and learning and developing. My background, of course, was as a CEO many years ago, and I now am an executive coach and do quite a bit of consulting as well as my lecturing in the MBA programs or exec MBA, depending on which university. So that's me, and I'm trying to show you that apart from just wanting to blurt out my personal details, which most of you will be going, oh my God, we got her. But we do. And I want you to build some trust and rapport so we can learn together in an open and honest way, because that's what leadership's all about. We can't build trust unless we do that, whether we like it or not. And so I'm going to ask you just to do one thing for me, at least at this stage. I might send you an email, but this here, I want you to upload this app, please. See it? Goody, goody. That's the Kahoot. Now, you can replay it if you need to, but it's Kahoot, and it's an app on your app store thing. And so download that in preparation for Wednesday night, okay? And we'll talk more. We'll go through everything and spend quite a bit of time probably on Wednesday just going through discussion questions, a bit about the assessments, etc., and then a little bit about your readings for this week. So please make sure you've done your readings. Okay, I'm going to go for now. You have a lovely weekend, and I'll see you on Wednesday next week. Bye. Now, turn it off. End.